Hello, everybody. Welcome to Essential Oils and Astrology. My name is Carmel Yvette, and I am the founder of livzenastrology. I am a professional astrologer and a wellness and alternative wellness and health coach. And today we're going to be speaking on essential oils and astrology and how the two are combined and related. And I'm just going to do a quick I'm going to go into my page and share this onto another platform that I have. So I'm going to just do that really quickly. Thank you for your patience as I'm learning to do these. All right, so I'm live. Here I am. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share this to my Facebook page. So thank you for being patient as I'm learning to navigate this. Yeah, the reason why I was called to come on here today and speak about this is, essential oils and astrology have both saved my life. Truly, truly, they have been game changers for me on so many levels. And I just, first of all, just want to share gratitude for the energy of essential oils and for the energy of astrology, because gosh, both of these magical tools, and they are tools, have led me to more of a state of homeostasis, of peace, of health in my body, in my mind, in my spirit, my soul, my emotional body. I call it the 5 pillars of wellness: my mental, my emotional, my spiritual, my physical, and my financial pillars are all fed and nourished by astrology and essential oils. And they're very deeply, intimately connected to me in my own journey, in my own path of gnosis, of becoming, of unfolding, of just getting more healthy in all these different pillars, these realms of my life. And I wanted to share my story as to why I even share astrology and essential oils, and specifically essential oils, because I had a health crisis back in 2015. I had a very large fibroid tumor that I had been struggling with, that had been getting I started noticing it back in 2012, but it started getting really pronounced back in 2015. And I had to get it, I was sort of burying my head in the sand with this noticeable difference in my belly. And I had been, losing weight and doing yoga and doing all the things, but I just noticed this hardening part of my stomach. And just through finally going to the doctor and facing whatever this unknown energy was that was growing inside of me, it turned out to be a fibroid tumor the size of a 5.5-month-old baby. So it was almost 3.5 pounds. It was very, very large. And because of that, I had to have surgery. That was the first surgery I'd ever had. I'd given my birth to my son naturally. So thank goodness, again, this was my first unknown charted territory with surgery, with recovery. It was a long process. I was very, very stressed about this. When the doctors tell you when you go into surgery, hey, by the way, if you have a living will and testament, bring that too, because we're going to getting ready to put you under anesthesia. And since you've never been under anesthesia, that is also something to be concerned about, just in case, right? So all these different thoughts, facing my mortality, facing death, back then I really, because I didn't know how I was going to come out the other end of it. So it was a very stressful time, and the healing process was very long and arduous. Not going into so much detail, but I wasn't able to have a bowel movement or a gas movement in almost 2 weeks, 14, 15 days. And I was probably in one of the most excruciating periods of my life. And looking back astrologically, Saturn was very dominant in my chart, which is, you think of acute illness, which would be more Mars, but this was more systemic and long term, which was more Saturn, right? So Saturn was coming over my first house, which is the IM. So I was feeling literally these blocks, because Saturn is rules boundaries and blocks, and again, chronic pain. So Saturn was really coming in during that time period to show me so many lessons about, first of all, healthcare, how to take care of myself, first house, my body, my physical body. and having to deal with all the years of just not treating myself well, of not putting myself first as a priority. And because of that, I had this health crisis that I had to address. There was no getting around it. I had to face this within myself. So I had several friends at the time who were working with doTERRA essential oils. And they both brought me independently of each other, not knowing that they were both giving me little care packages of these oils for my recovery. Because again, I was going through very intense pain, not really being able to process the energy of the surgery or the emotions of it, because I was still very stressed out. I was still, not knowing, financially, how was I going to work again? Was I ever going to get over this pain? There was just so many things happening in my mental realm. And I had been also going through a spiritual process as well at the time. So it was corresponding to the evolution of my chart, which Saturn was dominating, making me being very structured, just settling, being with the pain, learning how to be with pain and how to move through it, how to integrate it. And so the oils for me were a game changer. When I was gifted these oils, I was gifted, 2 different sets. And what really worked for me at that moment in time with the acute pain, which would be Mars, which what was frankincense and Digest Zen. And these are all products from doTERRA. Frankincense is pretty well known, but Digest Zen is a combination of oils that are good for digestion, that are good for processing things with the stomach. And so that was my main issue at the time. And let me tell you, within 24 hours, these oils started working. I was, using lavender for stress. I was using frankincense for anxiety. And of course, the Digest-Zen was for my processing what was going on in my stomach and for the healing. So using this combination of oils changed my life. The minute I started feeling relief, especially after using the Digest-Zen underneath the bottom of my feet, because that's where the largest pores are in the body. And anything that you put on the bottom of the feet are going to go in pretty quickly. So yeah, and the thing of it is, I have been on this spiritual journey. I've been on this health conscious journey, I thought, because I've been doing yoga, I've been doing meditation, I've been really getting into these realms of alternative wellness, but I'd never got into essential oils. And when I thought about essential oils, I'm like, smelly good, feel good stuff. I'm not really into that. I'm a Scorpio, right? So I wanted the intensity. I'm like, I want hot yoga and I want to go out in nature and I wanted like the intense transformations. And so for whatever reason, my association with essential oils was, they're too light and fluffy. It's just floral stuff. It's just plants, what are they going to really do for me? Well, boy, was I incorrect about that, because during that time period when I was healing, that was the only thing that helped me. And I thought I was doing all the right things, right, to help me move through this energy especially with the stress and not being able to have a bowel or a gas movement. I thought I was doing the right things, ginger tea and eating light and moving and stretching. But the only thing that helped pull me out of that, the vibration, the frequency that got me out of that very chronic pain, was the essential oils. So, and this was back in 2015. So here we are, 2023, right? And so I feel, because I've been using the oils consistently for these now 8 years, that I have a very intimate understanding of why the oils work for me, why these million-year-old plant medicines are so effective. And not only as we are studying, and for me as an astrologer, I look at everything as vibration, as frequency, as energy, right? So the energy of these plants, which come from planets, right? Because it's all connected, everything is connected. And if you visit my channel, livzenastrology, the premise of this channel is that, and the maxim and sort of our mantra is, all is self. Everything that you see outside of you is a part of you. And so connecting to the plant medicine really helped me dive deeper into even the astrology of the planets, right? Because planets are also associated with plants, with minerals, with metals. Everything is all connected. So as I started unfolding more with the plant medicine, it started leading me in even into a deeper dive with the planetary energies, with exploring astrology, and then using the essential oils every day helps me to integrate the gnosis of the stars, of the cosmos within my own inner gnosis. And it helps me connect to these energies within me every day. It's an everyday journey. So my go-to, my non-negotiables, and I call them my non-negotiables, right? Because as we set up our practices for wellness and health, and our routines with how we connect to our inner realms and then our outer realms, essential oils and astrology are my two go-tos that I use every day. So this is why I was just compelled to speak on this energy and just to kind of really share the magic of the oils and how to use it with astrology. Because as an integrative channel, so the channel Lives in Astrology is all about an integrative approach to wellness through conceptualizing the energy, but then bringing it down to earth and then using it in a pragmatic way, right? So yes, we study astrology and we want to know that how astrology works and how the planetary energies are affecting us, but then how do we use these energies in our everyday practice to be well, to be healthy? And again, looking at those 5 pillars of wellness: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and financial. And this is all part of it. And the financial, which that's why I work with doTERRA essential oils, because they really have embodied the financial aspect of it, and meaning that just by using the oils and sharing what these oils do, you can actually generate income from it, which is going to help sustain that 5th pillar for anyone who is interested in maybe if you're deep diving more into your own wellness practices or your own health journey. This is a way that you can pay yourself back with the oils as well, and we can go into that a little later as we're speaking on it. But I kind of wanted to introduce you to the oils themselves, specifically doTERRA essential oils, and I'm going to integrate it into the astrology of how to use the oils every day by pairing it with the days of the week, because planets in astrology rule days of the week. And so we're going to go into that as well. And so this is actually a very, like I said, an integrative approach to use the essential oils, and a pragmatic approach on how to work with the currents of energy astrologically as they show up for you, because everything's a pattern. And that's what astrology also teaches, is everything is a cycle and a pattern. And if you understand the pattern within you and how these cycles work, as within, so without, as above, so below, that there's actually correspondences and ways to use the essential oils on certain parts of the body on certain days of the week. And then you can incorporate that by even going diving deeper into wearing certain colors certain days of the week, right? Using certain oils certain days of the week, applying it to certain body parts, and then using certain crystals, right? Because I also like to work with the animal and the plant kingdom, and the fungi kingdom. I like to work with mushroom medicine as well. So again, this is an integrative approach to astrology and oils. And so let's kind of get into it. Let me put on my screen here just to show you how we're going to be using these oils, just the correspondence with astrology and essential oils, and how that looks. How can that play out for anybody, again, connecting to this channel that's watching. Let me get on top of this here. And there we go. Okay. So essential oils made easy. I'm going to go to the next slide here. Hopefully I'll be able to go into the next. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do for this part of the presentation is we're going to go into the oils themselves, 3 ways to use the oils, and then how to get the oils into your home real time to start using the plant medicine if you resonate with any of this information and you want more information on this. So let's get into that. So there's 3 ways to use essential oils. And again, I use doTERRA essential oils. There are many brands out there. There are many companies out there. I would invite you to tune into your own gnosis and your own inner wisdom to see what you're drawn to, perhaps muscle test and do some kinesiology to see what oils will work best for you. I am a loyal customer to doTERRA because, again, I had such a profound healing experience with doTERRA that I'm sticking with them, because after researching the company, just knowing the payment, that they really hold value and quality. Where they source the oils from is just all that matters. And so again, right now, my attunement, my vibration is vibrationally matched to doTERRA. And so there's several different ways to use essential oils. Essential oils can be done aromatically. So you smell them, right? The smell good has to do with the olfactory gland and has to do with memory. And so I would invite you to deep dive more into that. This is just going to be sort of a surface introduction to essential oils if you've never used them. There's also a topical way to use essential oils. So I actually use essential oils every day for my beauty care. So right now I've been merging frankincense and castor oil together to help repair my eyesight, because I can see I'm wearing glasses. And I just started this process, but there's a lot of benefits to castor oil. And I use castor oil as a carrier oil with frankincense oil for skin, and again for anxiety. And now for eye repair. So there's lots of different ways to use the oils topically. And of course, internally, there's actually ways that you can internalize. doTERRA is one of the very few companies that their product is so pure that you can actually use the oils internally. Now, not all oils are meant to be internal, only the ones that have supplemental facts on them. And we can go into that a little later, but these are the different ways to use these plant medicines. And I want to make sure and what they are. So the fact that they're safe. So I denote essential oils. I hope this doesn't trigger some people. It may, but the old paradigm of religion is, and I'm specifically thinking of the Catholic Church because I was raised Catholic, or I was born baptized Catholic when I was a baby, is that you have to go to a priest, right? And you have to confess your sins to a priest. And then from there, the priest can take your prayers and your confession up to God, and then you can be healed, right? Or forgiven. Well, I liken using essential oils to that right now, for me, religion has evolved more into a spiritual concept that I don't need a third party. I don't need to go to a priest or a minister or a guru or anybody outside of myself. I can connect directly to source, and I call now God source or creator. That's my terminology that I use. So I connect directly with source energy without having to go through a middleman, right? So how I liken the essential oils is I don't need so much a pharmacist to tell me what I need. Now, if I have acute pain, if I have a medical condition where I have an emergency, yes, I'm going to go to the doctor. I do not negate Western medicine, because if it wasn't for Western medicine, I wouldn't be here, right? So I definitely honor the Western aspect of how we do medicine and wellness, especially if there is an emergency. But for everyday continued wellness, for the consistency of health, I go right to essential oils. So there's no middleman now. I don't have to go to a doctor to say, hey, what do I need if I'm having a headache, or I'm feeling stressed, or I'm feeling depressed? I actually go right to the oils, because the oils will tell me through my own muscle testing and kinesiology, which basically, if you've never heard of these concepts, you can look them up. It's just going in, it's tuning into the magnetic frequency of the earth, and then you muscle test. There's a sway, and again, this is all science-based, but you have to do your own work and get into your body in a certain way for this to work for you. Some people use a pendulum. If you go to a holistic practitioner, they'll do muscle testing or kinesiology in their own way. Sometimes they'll, put your arm down, they'll test it that way. So there's lots of different ways to test to see what you need. But right now, I don't have to go outside of myself. If I need to take care of a headache or an upset stomach, I know I go right to the plant medicine. I go right to the source, which plants have been around for millions of years. They have evolved with nature. They know how to take care of us. They know what our body needs. These are, amazing molecules, amazing chemical constituents, and these are medicines. These are not toys to be played with, although they smell great. And it does enliven the room when you're diffusing these essential oils, but they're actually doing things medically for the body. They're bringing the body back into homeostasis naturally, without the side effects of these patented drugs that the artificial pharmaceutical companies have been bombarding us with, thinking that's the only way. They became the middleman, just like the preacher became the middleman for God. You don't need that. You can go directly to the source. So to me, directly going to the source would be going to the plants themselves. So they're very safe. They're natural. There's no side effects or addictions because they get pretty much generated within the body within 20 minutes, especially if you're using the essential oils on the bottom of the feet. So, and they're potent, they're certified. They have third-party testing for these oils. So it's not just doTERRA saying, hey, we're clean, we're pure. They have third-party tests that outsource to say, hey, how is our product? Is it consistent? Because if you're using these, if you're going to start replacing your pharmaceutical medication with these oils, which again, I would talk to a doctor. This is not any kind of health, I'm not saying you dump your doctor. No, do it under medical supervision. Absolutely. Especially if you're going to be replacing medicines of like antidepressants or cholesterol meds or anything like that with these oils, which I believe, with my own personal gnosis, that that's absolutely possible. I would still recommend, and I have to say this legally for legal purposes, just to, consult your doctor first and just get a good foundation before you start exploring with these essential oils, and trust your own gnosis if you're drawn to it, because that means there's medicine here for you that can be working on so many levels, not just the physical. Again, there's these pillars of wellness, which involves the spiritual, the mental, and the emotional, as well as the physical. And of course, doTERRA now, if you share the oils and just share them from your heart, can have a financial benefit as well. These oils are very effective too. There's not many oils that can break the blood-brain barrier. So there's actually the brain has a barrier that most chemicals cannot penetrate, because nature knows what it's doing. It needs to protect all his mentalism, right? So it's protecting the brain. Well, frankincense is one of the very few substances that can actually penetrate and go into these cells and start doing the magic of bringing homeostasis through cell regeneration, through allowing the death of old cells to die off and new cells to be born. It initiates this process. It's called apoptosis. So there's a lot of benefits to essential oils that are kind of magical, that you, again, just going past the the smelly, feely good stuff and, walking into a room and you're like, wow, that smells really good. There's so much more to it. And that's the first process, but it's leading you into a deeper relationship with the oils. And then what I love about doTERRA is it makes it very affordable. And the reason why I stick with doTERRA, and now because I've been a loyalty rewards member for so long, every time I spend money, I get what are called points, and I can accumulate those points and I can keep getting more oils, because now oils is my medicine. I have to have frankincense. That's my antidepressant, my anti-anxiety. It helps for sleep. There's certain oils I have to have that I use every day. So this is a way too that just by sharing oils, you can pay yourself back in oils, which is a really kind of beautiful and amazing thing. Okay, so now I'm going to start integrating, okay, so now we went over what essential oils are. Basically plant medicine. They're stems, they're parts of the stems and trees and petals of flowers and plants that are broken down, distilled, and brought to their most pure, potent form. And so how do you start using these oils in your everyday practice? And then how can you start navigating with the knowledge of astrology? Because astrology, again, the channel is all is self. So if we're studying astrological concepts, signs, days of the week, they all have rulerships astrologically. And there's certain frequencies that you can move into, that you can start exploring daily, that will help you get more into that flow state, if you will, to imbibe yourself with the fluidity of the planets, with your own chart, really bringing the highest, most balanced, highest and lowest, most coherent, balanced version of you by working with these energies. So if you've never heard of these concepts, I just wanted to kind of introduce you to the concept that everything matters, and days of the week, colors, vibration. And again, this is all tied to vibration, frequency. And so essential oils have their own frequencies. So do planets and days of the week. So do crystals. These all have corresponding vibrations. And if you can tune into the vibration and start working with these oils on certain days of the week, when planets are certain alignments, then you can really start seeing more of being in flow state or being in that homeostasis where all your 5 pillars are just well taken care of, well nourished, right? You have a well nourished spiritual life, mental life, emotional body, your physical body feels good. And then your finances, that's just more money to play with, more tools, because these are all tools to work with. So as we're getting into the days of the week, we're going to look at Sunday. So Sunday, and it's in the name, is ruled by the sun. It's associated with the sign of Leo. And the numerology that is corresponding to Sunday is the number 1. Now, there's also colors and frequencies that you can work with on Sundays to bring in more harmonics and to bring in more, again, homeostasis, which are the colors of golden hues, yellow, fire orange. You can start working with the crystals or the gems of onyx, amber, garnet, yellow topaz, tiger's eye, citrine, and peridot, or peridot, to pronounce it. And then the element of the planet, of the sun, which is or actually is a star, is gold, right? So working with the gold, to even maybe wearing a gold chain on that day, on Sundays, can just really put you in this flow state with the Sunday flow, right? With all these correspondences. And of course, there's also parts of the body that these planets and these star systems rule. And so the Leo, the sign Leo, rules the heart. And it also rules the dorsal region of the spine, the spinal cord, the aorta, the superior and inferior vena cava. I'm still learning what these parts of the bodies are, by the way. I learned this, but again, think of like the middle center or your solar plexus, right? And even your stomach area, I would say, because that's where the sun, right? We're each per sun, each of us have our own central sun, which is in the solar plexus, which is also corresponding to Leo. So it's the heart in this kind of area here, this middle part of the body. And now there's essential oils that are also corresponding to these parts of the body. And lemon, rosemary, ginger, rose, and garlic would be some of the oils that you might want to apply on Sunday, wearing yellow, right? Maybe having some citrine on you, right? Some jewelry of citrine, right? So these are all correspondences on how to flow, how to be in flow state, and also use essential oils for health and wellness. So we're going now to lemon. Lemon is one of my favorite oils. I use lemon every day. Actually, that's part of my routine is I wake up, I say gratitude, thank you for another day of breathing and being. And I go into the kitchen and I use lemon water. If I'm out of lemons, real lemons, because I like freshly squeezing lemons, I use my lemon oil. I'll put 2 drops of lemon oil into my water with a little dash of Celtic sea salt, because that's also good for mineralization of the body, because we're primarily water, right? So we are saltwater beings. And so it's a good cleanser. And if you look here, you can use it aromatically, topically, and internally. So how you know when you decide to start working with these plant medicines, there's a package that, especially with doTERRA, they'll tell you which oil is good for the aromatic, so you can use it to smell good. Topically, you can actually put it on your skin. You can actually put it on. I love to do a bentonite clay mask with apple cider vinegar and a few drops of the lemon oil, because it cleanses impurities. It gets rid of blackheads and just different things. And then, of course, internally, I take it internally to cleanse my liver, to cleanse my kidneys, just to make sure that I'm alkaline, right? So these are all the ways to use lemon oil. And of course, if I'm using it primarily on Sundays, right, especially on Sundays, because that's the Sunday, that's the day that it's corresponding with the frequency where I feel like I'm more in alignment if I'm following the practices of what I study. And then, of course, the next day of the week is Monday. So everybody calls it the moon day, right? We have the Monday blues because Mondays are ruled by the moon. And the moon rules our emotional nature, right? So astrologically, the moon is going to change signs every 2.5 days. So we're going to have different emotional needs every 2.5 days. So if you're in awareness that your mood, the moon, is going to change, then you can kind of flow into how these moodiness, these emotional bodies are going to manifest and get into that flow state. So Monday is ruled by the moon. It's associated with the sign of Cancer. Its rulership there, and numerology is the number 2. The colors to be wearing on those days are silver, cream, white, and blue. The jewelry that you can be embodying on the moon day would be moonstones, pearls, calcite, abalone shells, opal, rainbow, obsidian, rose quartz, and rubies. And then the element that the moon is corresponding to is silver. So maybe that's the day that you wear your silver necklaces, or you put, your pearls, your silver pearl jewelry on that day on a Monday. And then, of course, Cancer, which is corresponding to the moon, rules the stomach. And it also rules these different parts here that are labeled the nipples, the upper lobes of the liver, pancreas, serum of the blood, gastric fluids, pituitary glands. And so those days, maybe you want to imbibe with the frequency of Monday by using lavender, juniper berry, or rosemary, fennel, chamomile, some calming things that can help with the emotional body. And what I love, one of my favorite oils to work with right now is adaptive. And if you look at the color too, it's blue, which, the Monday blues. And again, because it helps with the emotional nature of it, especially adaptive, it helps you adapt to the energies that you're experiencing, especially if you're feeling very sensitive on a moon day, Monday. So adaptive, which is, you can see here, is aromatic and topical only. So you can't take adaptive internally because of the combination of oils. It's best to use aromatically and topically. And again, the oils will tell you what can be taken internally and what cannot be taken. So this is something to be really mindful of, because again, this is all medicine. These are chemical constituents that affect the physical body in many different ways. So depending on what you're needing, just to be mindful to look for the supplemental fact on the bottom, on the bottle of the oil you're using. So adaptive oil is a combination of different oils that helps with nervousness. It helps with easing the mind if you're feeling very anxious, again, those Monday blues, and it just helps to calm down your nervous system. I really love adaptive. I actually have to put that in my cart because I'm out of it. And just doing this presentation, I realize how much I miss it. So I need to remind myself to do this. And so the next day of the week, we're going into now Mars, right? So Tuesday is ruled by Mars. It's associated with two signs now, with Aries, the sign of Aries, and Scorpio. So the number that's associated numerology with the day of the week, which is Tuesday, would be the number 9. And the colors are going to be red and black, right? So the gems that you want to be working with on these particular days of the week would be red jasper, amber, bloodstone, topaz, and aquamarine, which I'm using aquamarine right now, even though it's a Saturday, which would be Saturn day, but it still keeps clear communication and communicating from the heart. The element that is associated with the day of the week and Mars would be iron. So, and then Aries, of course, which the part of the body which Aries rules would be the brain, cerebral hemispheres, both sides of the brain, your cranium, your face, your eyes. And then with Scorpio, it would actually be your genitals, right? So it would be the nether regions. It would be your rectum. It would be your private parts, right? So, and the essential oils that are associated with Tuesday or Mars would be peppermint, wild orange, clary sage, black pepper, rosemary, frankincense, lemon, and marjoram. Okay, so these are also, I want to emphasize that the reason why I put the parts of the body that these signs and these planets rule in the days of the week is because those are maybe parts of the body that you can apply these oils to. So for example, if on, say it's a Tuesday, right, and you're wearing your color red, you're wearing your black, you've got your bloodstone on, and maybe you're adding a little more iron to your nutrition that day because it's a Tuesday, right? And you know that the element that wants to be worked with is iron. And say, you just have a lot of thoughts. You just like have a lot of, anger thoughts because Mars control anger. So you take peppermint, which is considered a hot oil or a heating or a heated oil, because when it goes on the body, it actually will cool you, but it goes on hot. So you want to make sure not to put it too close to the eyes, because you really, if anybody's ever worked with peppermint or even eaten peppermint, it can be kind of an intense oil. But you can apply it to the brain. You can start using it with your tapping, right? If this is telling you where, not only how to use the oils, what the oils do, but where on the body to apply these oils. Again, for the most harmonious homeostasis experience we can all be accessing right now by understanding currents and frequencies, vibrations, and corresponding these to planets and essential oils. So this is a really great way to, figure out where to put these oils. I'm using the oils now. How do I use the oils, and where do I put them on my body to help me process whatever it is I'm processing? And of course, I associate this Tuesday frankincense. For me, frankincense is 7 days a week. It's a non-negotiable. I use frankincense all the time. I put them in all my serums. It's just, to me, it's the king of oils, and myrrh would be the queen. Frankincense is the father. Myrrh is the mother. And so trying to bring that balance of my masculine and my feminine nature, my yin and my yang. And so frankincense, it definitely is my go-to. So what does it do? You can see here that it can be done aromatically, topically, and you can take it internally. So I like to stick frankincense, one drop of frankincense on the roof of my mouth, especially before meditation, before doing yoga. It really just connects me to my highest version self. It connects me to my body as I'm meditating and just preparing for my day. So of course it promotes calm feelings. It's my anti-anxiety. It's my anti-depression medicine for me. Again, anti-aging, I use it for my skin. And then of course it helps. We talked about that apoptosis. It promotes cell regeneration, the cell death, where cells that are dying that have to go. Frankincense helps with that. It breaks the blood-brain barrier, and then it helps bring in new cell growth, as well as promoting apoptosis, which is helping cells die away. It's like, think of like the birth, life, death cycle of energies. Frankincense is really good at help promoting all that. Wednesdays now is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury has another dual rulership, just like Mars did with Aries and Scorpio. So Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. It's numerologically, it's associated with the number 5 of change. It's also associated with the color yellow, light green. And the gems associated with it are citrine, amber, tourmaline, agate, tiger's eye, emerald, peridot, and carnelian. And you'll notice a lot of these crystals and oils overlap. So they have more than one energy that they work with, because they're so, again, they've been evolving for millions and millions of years, and they do different things in different parts of the body. And so it's all integrative, right? So you're going to see a lot of overlapping crystal stones, oils that work with each other synergistically. Gemini, the element that's ruled by Mercury is Mercury. Gemini rules the shoulders, the arms, hands, anything two. What I was taught astrologically is Gemini is anything that's going to have two, the dual nature of rice, right? And the essential oils that are associated or can be associated with Mercury Wednesdays are basil, bergamot, grapefruit, ginger, neroli, and cardamom, and more of the citrus, which is, again, helps the mental realms. It helps with cheeriness. It helps with uplifting. And so the oil that I love, this is also an oil, one of my go-tos I use every day. I think I use oils every day, but I definitely have my favorites. And wild orange is one of them. It energizes you. It lifts you up. It's got A-limonene, which is the lemony chemical constituent, which is very uplifting. For those of you that work with other different kinds of plant medicines like cannabis or CBD oils, this is a chemical constituent. The A-limonene is really what makes it sativa dominant, which is more uplifting. And then the B-caryophyllene would be more of the indica dominant, which would be more of the calming. So there's different, again, the chemical constituents, the terpene profiles are also not only found in essential oils, but if you're working with the cannabis or CBD medicines, that those are also integrative. So you can, if say you get your medical marijuana card and you're going into a wellness consultant and say, I need something for uplift, they'll probably recommend something that's more sativa dominated, which is going to have more of the limonene. And then you can incorporate that by putting some wild orange on while you're imbibing with that particular herb as well. So again, these are all integrative approaches to wellness. And this, again, can be used aromatically, topically, and internally. If I don't have lemon, I substitute the wild orange for it because it's just as invigorating. Also grapefruit I do as well internally. And of course, now we're up to Thursday. Thursday is Thor's Day, ruled by Jupiter. It's associated with the planet, the sign Sagittarius. The number correspondence numerologically is 3. The colors associated is denim blue, beige, bronze, sapphire blue. The gems that you can be using that day are imperial topaz, chrysocolla, malachite, and turquoise. And then the element is tin that comes from that planet. Sagittarius rules the hips, thighs, femur, your vertebrae, your sacral region, your sciatic nerve. So how many of us here have sciatic nerve issues, right? So there's certain oils that you can be placing on these parts of the body on Thursday if you're corresponding to Thor's Day. Our hips is what holds a lot of our trauma. So unprocessed grief, things that we could not process while the trauma was happening, get stored a lot of the times, especially for women, into our thigh area. And so oils that can correspond, that can really work well, is geranium, melaleuca, eucalyptus, again, frankincense, ylang-ylang, and rosemary. Now, I put the correspondence of deep blue from doTERRA on this because deep blue is really good for joints, especially if you have sciatic energy going on, if you have lower back issues, if you've got joint pains on any of your muscles, if you've got arthritic things happening. The deep blue, and again, the corresponding blue color, right, is really good for anywhere that you're aching, where you're just not able to be comfortable in your body, especially in the lower parts of your body. Deep blue is really good for that. It's aromatic and topical only. It cannot be taken internally. So this is, there's also a deep blue cream that's really works really well with this oil. So I like to put the oil on first to penetrate, and then I like to put the cream topically on top of it. And again, if you're working with topical CBD, these are very high anti-inflammatories. They help calm the body, calm the nervous system. A lot of the times what's happening within us is we're just inflamed. We're just pissed off. We're just very high inflammation. So the deep blue oil can be really good. And especially if you're thinking a lot, because Sagittarius rules higher learning and thoughts. So as you're exploring and learning more about your body, about these integrative approaches to wellness through astrology, through oils, it can be a lot. It can be a lot to digest and download. So this deep blue helps you penetrate and help you to assimilate information, is what I've found. And it just smells really good. It's just a really good, like sports, if you've been working out a lot and you haven't worked out in a while and you're achy, it just really helps with that energy. And of course, now we're moving on to Friday, which is ruled by Venus, Venus Day. That's why, TGIF, right? Thank God it's Friday, because everybody loves Venus. Venus is all about our love and money and beauty, path of the beauty way. It's also associated in another dual rulership with 2 different signs, which it's associated with Taurus and Libra. It's got the number correspondence of 6. The colors of this frequency are going to be like a pink, light blue, and deep green. The gems associated would be a lapis lazuli, emerald, opal, and jade. And the element is copper. And I've been this was yesterday, even though it's Saturday, I was using my copper bracelet, which is also magnetic. And I've been wearing copper since, yesterday was Friday. So I'm also, following the energies of the day by following my own gnosis here. And the part of the body that Taurus rules is going to be the neck area, the tonsils, the lower jaw, the ears. And then the Libra, the part of the body of Libra is going to rule is the kidneys, adrenals, the lumbar skin, your vasculomotor system, and your ovaries. So the essential oils that you can be utilizing on this particular day of the week and with these correspondences would be patchouli, rose, cedarwood, basil, bergamot, melissa, frankincense, and black pepper. And the citrus bliss oil from doTERRA oil, again, it's very uplifting. It's if you see the color, it's like an orange yellow. So it also talks about the chakra systems. And we could do another class on that about essential oils and chakra, because I think that's very fascinating. But again, promoting this feeling of well-being, that I am safe, I am secure, because especially if Venus is love and money, that you feel good in your body, that you feel beautiful, that you feel uplifted, that you feel safe, that you feel financially abundant, right? So the citrus bliss is a really great combination, a blend of oils that is really a great correspondence I found to use on Fridays, Venus days, especially. And again, this is more aromatic and topical. A lot of your blends, if you find yourself working with blends, they're not going to be internalized. It's only going to be aromatic or topical, just a side note. Again, looking for that supplemental fact on the bottom is real on the bottle will help you delineate if you can take it internally or not. And of course, now we're on Saturday, which is today, which is when this is being filmed. It's ruled by Saturn, which is the Saturday associated with Capricorn. The number is 8 that is associated with this day. The color frequency is going to be all shades of brown and orange. The gems associated is going to be a diamond, white sapphire, cat's eye, garnet, crystal quartz. And the element that's associated with Saturn is lead. Okay. So Capricorn rules the skin, hair, knees, joints, skeletal system. And then the essential oils associated with Saturn or Saturday is going to be your eucalyptus, melaleuca, ginger, sandalwood, chamomile, and black pepper. Now, I will say that while the oils, you cannot necessarily, because of the protein profile, have allergic reactions, I would say some of these oils can create sensitivity. And the only reason I know this is because for me personally, melaleuca, which would be tea tree oil, causes my skin, which is Saturn, to break out. I cannot process melaleuca or tea tree oil. There's something about my particular chemical biome that rejects or has a very high sensitivity to melaleuca. So when you're working with these medicines, I would highly doing like a spot check, diluting the oils first with some sort of carrier oil, a carrier oil of your choice. I like to use fractionated coconut oil because there's not much of a smell that will overpower the essential oil smell. And then I just use it a little part of my body to see if I'm going to have a sensitivity. And I would highly recommend that for anybody starting to explore these oils, because again, they're medicine and we might have reactions to certain medicines, right? It might be not allergies, but you might have a sensitivity that's unknown. So that's a good way, just something to keep in mind from my own experience, because as much as I love the smell of melaleuca and I love what it does for the body and the skin, I personally cannot work with melaleuca, okay? That's because it's my own, again, my own chemistry. But the oil that was coming in that I really like to work with on my Saturn days is going to be more as a copaiba, because Capricorn, which rules Saturday, is an earth sign. And so copaiba, you can even see the coloration. It's very grounding. So it's very earthy. It puts you in your body. It's really good for, again, aches and pains. It's subtle. It's good for skin. It's good for sleep, and it helps the whole nervous system. And so on Saturdays, copaiba would be a really good day to, or Saturdays would be a good day to work with copaiba because it's very grounding. And then, yeah, well, of course, going back to Sunday. And so just going back to the kits, this is what I started off with. Actually, I started off with this kit when I first got it because I got the bigger bottles. But this is a great start if you're looking to explore essential oils for your wellness journey, for your everyday continued wellness practices. Again, there's correspondence in 7 days of the week, so you can be using these oils 7 days of the week. And this is a really good price point. It's got a diffuser that it comes with, and the smaller bottles are the 5 milliliter, and the larger bottles are going to be the 15 milliliter. So you're going to have a difference between 80 drops and 240 drops. So it really just depends on what your financial, what you're able to do right now. But this is an investment in your health. This is an investment in your financial pillar as well. If you decide that you want to work with these oils and start promoting them, because they do work. And once you really get into it, I would recommend, before you even consider the business part of it, work with the oils, see if they work for you. Like I said, had a whole life change because of these oils, because of the medical condition that I was going through, that health crisis that I went through. And that the fact that the oils were the only thing to help me, just, it was like a game changer. And it was a no-brainer for me. It's like, yeah, I'm going to start working with these oils. So why not also generate abundance while working with the oils, right? And this is the Home Essentials kit. Again, it's going to be the same as the other kit, which is the Healthy Start kit, but the oils are going to be more. So instead of the 5 milliliter, which is going to be about 80 drops, you're going to get about 240 drops. And it's more bang for your buck, because I like to extend the life of my oils by using carrier oils. I use roller balls, I use sprays. So for frankincense, because I use it every day, I'll put 20 drops of frankincense in a roller ball, and I'll just fill it up with a carrier oil of my choice. Now, lately, I've been working with jojoba and rose hip oils and castor oil on my face. So again, a bottle of frankincense can go a long way for me because I'm using the oils, I'm by diluting them and creating like a 5 milliliter roller ball with just 20 drops of the essential oils. So for me, that makes more sense as a price point of savings in the long run, but it just depends on where your finances are. I would just recommend everybody honoring their finances and where they are. And then of course, too, if you love the oils, if you purchase the kit, start working with the medicines and go, wow, this has been a game changer for me too. I really love the oils. Then you can start sharing them and you can start making money. And this is just an income potential chart where you can start supplementing your income. And there's a lot of people actually who have quit their jobs and just only work with doTERRA as a consultant, as a wellness practitioner. And I would invite in a lot of my friends and family who are already doing the wellness practices, who are already practitioners, to start incorporating essential oils into your practices. It's just a nice way to supplement while you're sharing your gifts, while you're, doing your joy bliss, which for me, astrology is my joy bliss. So why not also share the oils? Because I'm just sharing my practices. It's not coming from any other place than a sincere desire to tell people, to educate people that there are other ways to be healthy outside of the pharmaceutical realm. Pharmaceuticals are needed on certain things for certain, situations and emergency things. I really believe that because I had that happen to me. But for your everyday maintenance and wellness and to bring homeostasis every day, so you won't have to experience these health crises, which we know right now, health has been on the forefront of everybody's mind, especially since 2020. And we all know why. This is just something to consider and to work with and to play with and to start imbibing with the frequency of these very sacred, potent, high vibration, meaning they spin really, really fast and they get into the body very, very fast. And the body knows how to respond to these oils really fast. So as you start working with them, there's also a way that you can start generating wealth and income with it, which is that fifth financial pillar. And it's really easy. You sample the oils, and I love to give free oils and samples because I know how magical these oils are. And all I want to do is share because I just want people to feel better. Because when people around you feel better and you feel better, then you just start behaving better and changing your attitude and changing your actions. And that's what's going to help this whole world right now, is just by all of us, first of all, taking care of ourselves, feeling better about ourselves, and then educating, sharing the products, sharing your testimonies on how the oils worked for you, what they did for you. And then you can get people to enroll into the products because the consistency is the key. This is not something, this oil journey, this protocol is not just a one and done type of situation. This is consistent use, practice. It's part of your practice, just like you brush your teeth every day and you use deodorant every day. It's an everyday thing for maintenance. And then of course we offer support, right? Because I'm also about building community with like-minded and like-hearted folks who are also on this wellness journey, who want to feel better, who want to think better, do better, act better. And so we can support each other during this process as we are all up-leveling our health and up-leveling our finances. And again, all the 5 pillars, the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the financial realms. We can help each other with this process through the support system. So what's the next step? If you want to get any of the oils that we talked about, if you want to have a wellness consultation with me, if you want to do a birth chart session with how to start implementing these oils, you can reach out to me at livzenastrology. You can also, all we'll do is we'll get you set up with a wholesale account. You can reach out. I'll give you all the training resources. Everything is already kind of ready made. All you have to do is just do your own internal work, your own studies of the oils by implementing them, by using them. And then you're just going to want to start sharing them. It's pretty easy once you become embodied with the medicine itself. So, yeah, the only thing keeping you from what you want is your story about your why and why you can't have it. And so sometimes people in their exploration of these oils say, well, the oils are maybe too much money or I can't afford them right now. But if you're serious about your health and you just are ready for something different, you have to do something different. And for me, I'm kind of stubborn, I guess. I've kind of got a bit of a hard head, which that's Saturn working with me in my chart, is I have a lot of structure. And so Saturn works for me in that realm, but Saturn can also keep things away from me because I'm too hard-headed to see that there might be something for me if I have these preconceived notions. So the only reason I say that is because I had to have a health crisis for me to be introduced to these oils, for me to even consider the oils. I had no choice because nothing else was working. And once I was gifted these oils unconditionally by friends who just loved me and wanted to see me better, and I started working with these oils, it completely changed my world. It completely catapulted me into this career path that I'm at now, which is a professional astrologer and an alternative wellness coach, right? Teaching these tools, teaching what I call the Occam's razor of health. Usually the simplest explanations are the most accurate, the most profound, and they work. So I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to journey with me as we were traversing through essential oils and astrology, which are my two passions, my loves. And again, I'm here for anybody that wants more information on any of these topics, or that just want to connect and want to get some sort of consultation about alternative wellness in general, and somebody to talk to about maybe these concepts that are just new to you that you want to get more in depth with. And I'm looking too, this is my intention to put it out there, to start building community and to start what I call the business of isness, is by you just being and sharing and using these tools, either through astrology or oils, that you're just going to want to naturally start sharing and building community with other beings who are also on these this health path. Because I'm a digital nomad. I've been nomadic now since 2021. I don't technically have a home, but I've been staying in different people's homes and kind of implementing these practices within my friends and family's homes. And I will say that every single home that I've been to now has essential oils and use doTERRA every day for their practices, because that's part of our journey together in community, is that we're implementing, we're not just talking, we're actually doing, we're embodying, we're living these practices, and we're getting better. And we're sharing vulnerably about what's going on with us and these 5 pillars of wellness, the spiritual realm, the mental realm, the emotional, the physical, and the financial. All that right now is the focus. And so if we can help each other navigate and point to, hey, this worked for me. This is how you can generate abundance. This is how you can get your mental state right through this meditation or through this yoga posture or this tapping or this technique. I also have a livzenastrology podcast as I'm starting to share more using my throat chakra, right? Really using spearmint. I've been working with spearmint oil to open up my throat chakra to speak on these things that I have myself been doing for the past 8 years. So it's just time to show up. It's time to be embodied with these tools, these medicines. If you're wanting to connect on any of these realms with me, please reach out at livzenastrology.com. I'm on all the social media platforms. And yeah, let's connect, let's talk, let's get you some oils. Let's start integrating these frequencies now as we are all evolving and expanding and growing into our own inner gnosis, because we have the answers within. We just need the right tools to get us to that space of inner knowing through connectivity, connection, cooperation. And so yeah, thank you for watching this. Thank you for connecting here with me. I'm so grateful. Much love to you guys. And yeah, I'll be seeing you and hearing from you soon.